Hello, it's Peter Wright and Kathleen Beauvais with another weekly wrap-up for the Yakking Show. And this is for the week ending the 7th of February 2025, into the
Right.
second month of the year already.
I know.
So, welcome, Kathleen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Peter. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. The sun's shining. It's pretty cold, but the sun's shining, so it's always better when the sun's shining.
Absolutely, absolutely. Today, Peter, I want to talk about
Yes.
something that I think you'll find very interesting, and that is how your hands can reveal serious health issues.
Hmm.
Have you heard about this?
No, no,
No? All
no.
right. So, if have you ever noticed sudden changes in your hands, such as tingling or brittle nails? They say sometimes these subtle signs are early indications of underlying health issues.
Oh,
So, healthy nails typically have a pinkish nail bed, and that's thanks to the blood supply underneath, and a whitish half moon shape at the base called the lunula, right? So, your hands offer valuable insights into the overall health from nail color and texture signaling anemia to lung conditions or even thyroid problems or skin changes indicating eczema or even Raynaud's phenomenon. So it says pay close attention to your nails. Pale nails suggest anemia. Yellowing could indicate lung or liver issues. And changes in textures such as pitting or clubbing, point to psoriasis or even heart conditions, Peter.
hmm.
So,
Wow.
skin changes on your hands, such as persistent dryness, cracking, or unusual rashes, may be linked to eczema or thyroid problems or even circulatory issues like Raynaud's. And I know that you suffer from Raynaud's, but
I do, yeah.
it says hand pain, swelling, and numbness should not be ignored, as there are symptoms, or they could be symptoms of arthritis, such as rheumatoid or even osteoarthritis, carpal tunnel syndrome, lymphedema, and even kidney disease.
Wow.
So it says there was another article. So this article comes from Mercola, and we'll put a link to the full article in this video. But there was also another article that I read about reduced hand grip strength
Hmm.
is increasingly recognized as an indicator of a weakened immunity, declining
Ah,
muscle
good.
mass with age, and underlying heart health warranting overall attention. So, according to the Harvard Health Publishing, grip strength was found to be a better predictor for death or cardiovascular disease than even blood pressure.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
and
Amazing.
I wanted to because when it said about the hand grip, have you ever seen these?
Oh, yes. Yes, I've seen those. Yeah.
Right? So it's made to increase your grip strength, basically.
Hmm.
So I mean you can get these anywhere on Amazon, right? And I mean this one is a tight one, so I can barely move this one. I need to work on that. But also, remember these, Peter? Do you remember
Oh,
Doc
yes. Dr. Zach, wasn't it? Yeah,
Terry?
last year.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
Dr.
that's right.
Zachary. And he came up with this incredible little device here that and I'm demonstrating this for those of you who
Yeah,
are just listening. And there's a ball, and it's attached to these that I guess these loops that go around your fingers, and then you can exercise your hand grip with this. So, but
right,
not
right,
only is it exercising your palms or your grip, it's also exercising the back of your hand.
right.
And
Of
do you know,
course.
Peter, I had trigger finger for the
Hmm.
longest time, and it is now gone
Gone.
by using this little
Hmm.
device.
Wow, that's good.
Oh,
That's good.
yes. So that's what
Excellent.
I wanted to talk to you about. And I know you have Raynaud's, right, Peter? So maybe
I
you
I do, and it seems to be getting worse with age. It's crazy. I can walk at 0 degrees Celsius, so 32 Fahrenheit. I can go for my morning walk in shorts, and my legs won't get cold, my feet won't get cold, and I just have normal hiking boots, right? But my hands will freeze. So sometimes I walk in shorts and great big ski mittens to keep my hands warm. So, my neighbors think I'm totally nuts. Well, they think I'm nuts for walking at this time of the morning anyway. Today I walked and it was -8. But yeah, and my hands don't go blue; they go either red or white, and get extremely painful. Um, and it's a condition, it's a circulatory condition, but there's also something to do with the nerves as well. My mother had it. Some people who get it really bad can just get a blast of cold air in the supermarket from one of the freezer compartments, right? And that can trigger their Raynaud's in their hands or their feet. I'm
Mhm.
so lucky; I only get it in my hands. So when I'm working outside, I use those chemical hot pad things that you mix together or shake up, and that helps a lot. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's not a good thing to have. It's not nice, but one of those things that affects some people.
Right. And
Yeah.
I want to give a little plug today for,
Well, before you do, can I
yes,
jump in with my little health thing that I found
oh,
two really,
absolutely.
really interesting snippets this week? The one article I was reading, I think it was on Dr. Jockers, I can't remember. It might have been Epoch Health. I was amazed to hear that 1 in 4 men in North America will have a hernia repair during their lifetime, right? One in
Right.
four. 1 in 4. I've had bilateral, and then the one side went again, my fault for picking up heavy logs when I shouldn't have done. And I had to have that repaired, about 15 years ago. And touch wood, it's been absolutely fine since. That was done with a steel wire mesh that he put in. No problem. But my surgeon said to me, you don't mess about, because if your bowel protrudes through the break in the muscle wall and it gets strangulated, it's very serious, can kill you, or you can lose part of your gut. So the warning to you guys listening, if you get a bulge in your groin, get it attended to. It's not worth taking the chance. So that was one. And the other very interesting one on I think Dr. Yockers was using hydrogen peroxide and salt in a nebulizer to help people relieve conditions of asthma, allergies, sore throats, sinus infections. Very simple, very cost effective. So I thought that was really worth looking into. And on the strength of that, I ordered a nebulizer for my good lady yesterday, and myself. If I get nasal sinus problems, I will use it. So that's the two that I picked up, Kathleen.
Wonderful. And I just want to give another little plug for a Dr. Morse product. This time it is the Heal All Tea Peter.
Yep.
This is for general maintenance as it assists the body's natural detoxification process. Its formula includes butcher's broom for circulatory support, black walnut and golden seal to promote the removal of unwanted organisms from the gut, and white oak and mullein to astringe interstitial fluid and promote lymphatic flow. So it's a wonderful tea, really. It's nice and it's a loose tea and it smells nice. It's a little bit earthy, but it's quite pleasant to the taste and
Mm,
highly recommend it. It's loose tea.
yes. And I take it too. And Kathleen's right. It doesn't taste bad at all. It tastes quite pleasant. So thank you for that, Kathleen.
Yes.
Anything else on the health side? You got any more on the health side?
Well, those were my tips for today.
Those were yours. Okay. So let's tell you what has been going on the Yakking Show over the last week or so. On Tuesday, we published an episode with Professor Keith Ellis, who has done a lot of research into the phenomenon known as long COVID for people who may or may not have had COVID, and also any post-viral infection. It seems that most people shake these viral infections off pretty quickly, but some people, a significant number, the symptoms linger on for weeks or months and makes their life really miserable for a long period of time. So he talks about why that should be, some of the causes. He talks about the symptoms, but he also talks about what you can do about it. And he has some natural remedies he's found that alleviate those symptoms fairly quickly and fairly effectively. So if you are suffering from any form of post-viral infection or symptoms, then listen to that episode or watch that episode, and you might find some good ideas in there. That was this week. Coming up next Well, not next week because we're on a two-weekly cycle. So it'll be on the 18th of February. We have Dee Manny from English lady, but living in Portugal, and she is an expert on CBD and cannabis oil. And she has a really interesting story of how she cured her cancer with CBD and cannabis oil. That's her story. We're not saying that everybody would have the same results, but it's worth listening to her story. And she goes into the reasons why cannabis or marijuana, what used to be a well-recognized and well-used family remedy going back 200 or 300 years, and she talks about legislation that banned it and the reasons it was banned because it was cheap and didn't make money for big pharmaceutical companies. She goes through all that legislation,
Mhm.
and she produces the products herself. And we have a link to those products. But a very very interesting episode to watch if you are concerned about various ailments, cancer and others that you are not getting results from with conventional medicine. So it's worth considering. Coming up 2 weeks later will be Scott Bucco, and his talks about his title of his talk is My Brain Mechanic. He suffered a traumatic brain injury and managed to get himself better by various exercises and also natural remedies. A very interesting one. So those are the ones that are coming up over the next 4 weeks. Right, Kathleen. I've got to talk about a book. And the book we're featuring this week it could be quite controversial. It's by DJ Kadagian, who was on our show twice last year. He talks about near-death experience. He's written a book called Portrait of a Radical, the Jesus Movement, and it has a different look at Jesus. It's not anti-religious in the slightest, but it could be controversial because it portrays Jesus as a radical, not as a goody-goody, which a lot of people seem to see him as. So quite a good book, well researched, and he collaborates with three theologians, and two of them are ministers for the book. So that's the book. There will be a link to that in the description. And I think that's about it for me, Kathleen.
All right. Well, thank you all so very much for tuning in to our show. We so appreciate it. And until next time, take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.